Hello, this is Stefanie Weidtkamp-Peters from Düsseldorf in Germany, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the first talk of the session Teaching and Training on the first day of the OME meeting in 2021, again in virtual format. So, first of all, I would like to give you a short introduction what I am doing with OMERO and how I am involved in teaching. So, I'm the head of the imaging core facility, Kai, at the University of Düsseldorf, and of course, next to all the microscope systems, we provide to our users the possibility to upload their data to an OMERO instance. Because we have some experience with OMERO, and we had also some difficulties in installing it and integrating it into our local IT infrastructure, we had the idea together with our colleagues, a few colleagues in Germany, to initiate an OMERO user group in Germany. And this is now called the RDM for MIG group, the Research Data Management for Microscopy group. And it turned out this is really a very powerful subunit to exchange about all the things that have to do with OMERO teaching, training, IT infrastructure, and how to support people that want to get started with OMERO, for example, is also one idea of the group. So this group had been now integrated into our German network, what now became the Society for Microscopy, German Bioimaging, GmbH, Gesellschaft für Mikroskopie und Bildanalyse, and RDM for MIG group has been integrated into the workgroup Image Analysis and Data Management. I was also a co-applicant of a project for now really getting it to the next level, information infrastructure for bioimage data, the i3D BIOS project. And I can tell you that we will get the funding for this project, and it will hopefully start soon. Within this project, we really want to improve now information infrastructures for bioimage data, and this, of course, includes a lot of teaching activities. And further on, I just became the spokesperson for NFDI for Bioimage. This is the planned National Research Data Management Consortium for bioimaging data. And this, if we get the funding for this, will get started in next year in summer. And of course, again, there we will have the chance to set up an even bigger infrastructure. And most importantly, we will integrate also with other platforms, with other image data with other data types, and to improve the overall research data management within Germany. And we hope we can contribute to this. So teaching and training is very important on all levels, as you can imagine. At our local site at Kai in Düsseldorf, we introduce new users to microscope systems, and in every introduction to a system, they also get a short introduction to OMERO as part of our daily routine. Within the OMERO RDM for MIG group, we share these experience we collect in all these teaching of OMERO, and we also share materials with our colleagues that just get started with using OMERO. We want to improve these materials, and there, of course, we try the concept of train the trainer. Within German bioimaging, we have a very active workgroup training. However, this workgroup is concentrating now only on microscopy techniques and how to teach and to do this introduction to users, and how to train also staff scientists in the imaging core facilities. And we have the goal that they also integrate image data management into these activities of the workgroup training later on. i3D Bio will provide finally the capacity and also infrastructure for teaching and training of OMERO to improve all these things, because this is one experience we made that all of our imaging core facilities are very low on capacities because they are for teaching and training of all these things around image data management like OMERO, because of course they have to deal in the first instance with all the things belonging to microscopy itself. And within the NFDI for bioimage framework, we aim to come up with more integrative teaching and training concepts dealing with RDM in general, research data management in general. So how does teaching and training for OMERO look like at Kai. So normally a user is requesting a training for a new image, for a new microscope system. This person will get an introduction to the microscope that takes 2 to 3 hours, because it's, as you can imagine, quite complex, and if it's the first contact with this advanced microscopy methods we are offering, it needs some time. And after that, the user might have a quite smoky head, of course. But it's of course needed to also provide a workflow how to get access to the data, because in our place it's not allowed to save your data on the local systems PC. You have to transfer them via the network to our file storage, and that is the central accessibility point of your data now, and this is definitely mandatory. However, if people are not used to use network drives, that will again give them some hard time to understand also this. And last but not least, they will get a short introduction to OMERO. However, the use of OMERO is voluntary in our imaging core facility because we cannot provide the backup service for this storage place for the data. But of course, we mention all the benefits that are there. So it might not be the perfect time point for OMERO, but it's the first time point, and we take the opportunity to also introduce this tool. And if the microscope training was very successful and the new user was able to acquire nice images, then the motivation is indeed very high to get access to their images, and then of course OMERO is the best choice. Because they probably want to share their new images, for example, with the PI. However, I have to say, PI can be another challenge in terms of teaching how to get access to images, but that's maybe a different story. Our experience is that the Corona situation is really promoting the use of online tools like OMERO, because people are in home office, they do not meet in the lab, and so they really there's really a high need for these kind of tools, and so we are very happy that we can provide the OMERO to our users. Another experience that's quite clear is that all of our users love OMERO Figure, because they easily can make figures using it, and it's a clear benefit of OMERO. Another experience is, of course, that all the users try to avoid any kind of extra efforts concerning metadata, because they just do not see the benefits at this point. And another thing is that for many users, the introduction to OMERO is very often the first contact they ever had with things like research data management, or even fair research data management. They might not have an idea what this means in the end. So with this experience, there are some practical aspects if we discuss this between our staff and together with other colleagues. So as I mentioned, we do not talk about metadata editing or ontologies or even key value pairs in the first introduction to the OMERO. So, but when else shall we do this? So there's definitely a need for concepts for the integration of image data management training into the core facility routines. What we don't have, I have to say, and I think also other places like this still, and we should discuss how we could integrate it into our routines. Concerning metadata, of course, they are super important. Everybody knows metadata matters. We really have to integrate tools like the OMERO MDE for editing of metadata. However, we also need to ensure that they are really user-friendly. Otherwise, people will not use it. And next to the how-to, so how should this take place, the metadata editing, we also need to show the benefits. What is it good for? Yeah, that afterwards you can reuse your data, or it's anyway necessary to annotate your data if you want to publish them later on. And it's maybe a really good idea to provide to our users minimal metadata standards already in the training, that they get an idea what they can use. And another point is very important, in my opinion. we should try to integrate any kind of OMERO training and any student teaching activities like master courses or even bachelor courses, because students are the ones that easily adopt these kind of new routines and workflows, and they will spread it among their colleagues later on, and they will just use it further on, and that will help us a lot to really spread the idea of good research data management and image data management. So this is how it looks like when we, together with our students, are using OMERO. This is a screenshot of our OMERO instance with images that have been acquired during our online master course in February this year, and you can see that somehow we tried to describe the images quite precisely with all the fluorophores and what was stained in this kind of cells. However, as you can see, we did not use any text or key value pairs in this case. The students were using OMERO figure a lot, as you can see it here. They were preparing these kind of figures for the protocols, what's very nice. So, as I told you, it's very important that we do teaching and training on all levels and support our users and our students, and I think the i3D Bio project, what will hopefully start soon, will give us really a very good chance to improve on that, to really come up with more harmonized teaching and training routines, and also to provide good tools and materials for kind of teaching and training. And this is our work program for the i3D Bio, and as you can see, for example, the minimal metadata standards is one part of work program, work package 1, and of course the training stuff is integral part of work package 3, what is called communication and training. Later on, we hope that we can integrate all these kind of activities in the even bigger frame of an FDI for bioimage. Because what I think is, even if we can provide a fair image data workflow to our users, yeah, and we can ensure that our data are fair, it only makes sense if also the people are really aware of what is available. They really have to understand why they should go along this way to highly annotate their data, and that in the end they will be available to run more sophisticated analysis pipelines, and it's then very easy to publish their data, and that there is really a need for making data fair, and for this people have to be aware. With this, I'd like to close my talk and to acknowledge the people that are involved in all of these activities. That's of course my team in Düsseldorf, my postdocs, and the person who's responsible for our OMERO instance. And here is a colleague, Yvonne Stahl, and her team. They are like the test users for all of our OMERO activities in terms of teaching. And of course, all the excellent people working together in these ideas around image data management from the RDM Formic group, the i3D Bio proposal team, the NFDI Bioimage, and of course the German Bioimaging, and all of our international and national collaborators. And I would like to thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to our discussion.